So, shall we get started on this shindig?
Let's wake up first. There we go. Okay, that's enough.
Hello guys, and welcome to Ballaam and Willis, episode 3.
They usually say the third one's the worst, so stay if you want.
You've probably lost 20% of the audience retention now.
Welcome.
Let's get on with it. In the Forest of the Night.
Yes, by Frank Cottrell Boyce, if I'm correct. I always forget his first name.
Bryce.
Boyce.
Oh,
Boyce.
Okay. I know, ends in ICE. So, what do you think of In the Forest of the Night?
I think it is an underrated gem of this series. Whilst it's not great, it's far from great, I must admit that. It was at least enjoyable to watch. As for child actors, they're actually good. There was a good balance between the Doctor saving the day and the whole Clara-Danny relationship. When I first heard it was going to be, oh, the trees have come back, I thought, this could be absolutely rubbish. And when the pictures came out, I thought, this is going to be absolutely rubbish.
Well, I think that, in quite a contrast, I actually really did not like that episode.
Yeah, so you're the majority in this case.
Yes,
yeah,
for one time the majority. It's the appearance of Annabelle.
Yeah.
Like to the casual viewer.
Oh, and of course I forgot about her.
Yeah, just like, and, oh, Anna! Who the hell's Anna?
They've mentioned her throughout the whole episode.
Well, like a damn. I was trying to make sense of the rest of the episode.
Even in the end, when all the kids were saving their day, like, oh, and Annabelle, please come home, we miss you. Well, I mean, yeah, it is a bit too.
Well, I thought Annabelle was one of the kids.
No, but you fucking mentioned her. Oh, that's why she was taking the medication.
Right. Okay. What's happened? Because maybe like I'm not making sense of this. So what's happened? A load of trees have sprung up, and everyone's confused by it, including myself.
Yeah.
They're trying to cut down the trees, but they're made out of fire-resistant wood.
It was kind of, it fell for the there is no actual threat sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a nice kind of twist. All the trees have come to save us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can see where you come from there.
Yeah.
I mean, well, like I may have been a bit harsh because maybe like I was still trying to understand it and I didn't quite understand it. There's several factors which may come into it. So, if you had to give it a score out of 10?
If I recall correctly, I gave it a 7.
A 7 out of 10? I can't remember, but I think it must have been about a 4, maybe a 5. So, Dark Water.
And Death in Heaven. We'll focus on Dark Water first, because...
So, it's time for the great debate. Dun, dun, dun. This is where the visual effects come in.
Yes. Finally, we got a budget. It must remind me.
I really enjoyed it. I think that it was I think that they set up the premise really well, and I know that you really hate it. So, we already have got that sorted. I
want you to put all my tweets up.
Yes.
It's all my angry tweets.
But I really liked it. I think that it's a controversial issue. Obviously, Missy or the Master being Missy, so turning into a woman. It's a very controversial issue, one which it's clear that some people are divided on. And, I'm not against it. I think that Michelle Gomez played a brilliant role as Missy Master. Yeah, I've been calling that for the past 2 weeks as Missy Master. But, I think she played a good role, and as long as it doesn't sort of pave the way to a female Doctor, because I don't think that would work for various reasons. That's my brief opinion of it. Your opinion?
Oh, I just found it too hard to watch. I found it abysmal. Probably one of the worst episodes I've ever seen. And that means officially knocked off from the top spot of worst episode from another Moffat story, The Doctor Building the Wardrobe. So Dark Water is my worst episode of all time.
Okay. Why?
Why? Well, let's try and start from the beginning. Danny's death. Where did that... I joked about him being hit by a car when he stopped. I was like, now he's hit by a car. And then he's hit by a car.
Well, I think that it needed to give some form of like progression though. Like
what progression? He's walking down the street and he just stops in the middle of a road. There's no car in the picture. If you look at
you hear like the cars moving by.
yeah, that's because there's a road.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he's on the road or that the car's about to hit him. It means he's walking. He's gone through a park and now it's by a road.
Yeah. Well, but I think it gave some necessary like push.
And then of course we get that volcano scene.
I really like that scene.
Throughout that scene, whilst you can understand why the Doctor didn't do it, and didn't, because of course the TARDIS can open the doors with a snap of his fingers. So can Clara. She did it in Day of the Doctor.
I suppose it's not considering it's a dream state.
When you consider it's a dream state, yes, it is understandable. But it kind of takes you out of the moment, because when you think throughout the whole scene, which is meant to emotionally captivate you, like Clara's going, oh, she's all moving, should I get away? Because it was very selfish of Clara. I mean, yes, her boyfriend's died, but not to the point that you're going to threaten your own life and your best friends by throwing all the keys to a time machine into a volcano. That's too far.
When the trailer aired after In the Forest of the Night, and they showed You'll Never Step Into Your TARDIS Ever Again, and Clara Never Existed, I thought, have we got Clara as the antagonist? Have we finally got a reason why Clara is such a big part in this series, because she's the antagonist?
That would have been a good moment. If they were back in the time strip, we find out that the Clara which came out was not the proper Clara.
Yeah.
She's seen what the Doctor does. That would be smart. Clara saying, no, I don't want this anymore. This is not how we was meant to be saving the day. Her working with Missy and the Cybermen against the Doctor. That would be a great end for Clara.
We should be writers!
Yeah. Charlie for Series 9.
One thing I didn't like, one thing which I really didn't like about the episode, if anything, was the fact that you have John Pertwee and Roger Delgado.
Yeah.
Brilliant, obviously, good guy and bad guy.
Yeah.
Then you have Peter and Michelle, who then have a bit of kissy. That's not a particularly good moment.
No. When I saw it, it was a moment which was completely unnecessary. And when you bear in mind, of course, that she is the Master, you're basically taking away 40 years of character development. I mean, yeah, you've got all those shippers like, oh, Dr. Master, they're together, they have a gay relationship, and now if she's a woman, it's canon. You've got one really good guy and one really bad guy. They occasionally get along, but most of the time they're sworn enemies. And then for the first time you see them together again. Oh, like, I'm gonna slog you, Doctor.
It could be just to try and create a facade, bear the pain to create a facade and create more shock.
Sidemen, good idea. I did like their reveal. Yes, it's kind of obvious there were Sidemen in the episode.
Yeah.
Because you see all the little eye drop symbols and you're kind of just oh, they're pushing this way too far. It's even to the point where it's absolutely, it's kind of in Deep Breath again, oh, SS Madame de Pompadour, I've heard this before, where have I heard it before? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, Clockwork Droids, where have I heard that before?
He seems to be a very forgetful Doctor.
In 2 episodes, yes.
Yeah.
In both Moffat episodes.
Well, they even push it really, really far, when you've got Seb and the Doctor, I think it is, or is it Missy?
It wasn't with the Doctor.
Oh, whatever. They close the doors and then you have the.
It was the Doctor and Dr. Chang.
The one thing I really did like is the new voices.
Oh yeah, because they've changed it slightly from the last time.
Yeah, but I like how it's more metallic, more not to compare it to Tomb of the Cybermen, but a bit like Tomb of the Cybermen. Whoever runs the show, Series 9. Spoiler. So, I want you, when the Cybermen return, to not use any metallic voices. I want you to use the voices similar to that of 10th Planet.
I'd like to see them do the whole Earthshock ones. That'd be cool. I'd like to see the Earthshock Cybermen back. Because I know you can see the whole chin thing. Yeah. But at least they're not robots.
No, but but just the 10th Planet, sort of the cloth faces, and they're just you will be like
Neil Gaiman wanted that for Nightmare himself. He wanted some of the older Cybermen. I think there's going to be a cliffhanger. revolving around the older Cybermen. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I would actually pay to see that kind of episode, especially if it was written by Neil Gaiman.
Yeah. I did have to laugh at your tweets, like when I saw it.
I want you to put my name.
Don't you dare ruin 40 years of a character. I want Buffy out.
Because it angered me so much, and it still does. Because you've got just another generic female villain for the Moffat era. Madame Kavarian, Miss Delphox, Tasha Leb, River Song. They're all the same. Even Irene Adler, technically. They're all the same. And now you've got the Master turned into a generic female Moffat villain. So I gave it a 2 out of 10.
Yeah, I seem to remember that. But I think it was still a good episode, so I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Right. Big difference.
And now we come on to the bit where we now start to agree with each other again.
But we unanimously agree.
Death in Heaven. Okay, so one word to say it. How good was it?
CyberBrig. I found it was a slight improvement. All of a sudden you've got all these people taking selfies with the cyber. That makes no sense. I don't understand why we did that. She put a hat on the ground.
Same thing with the cubes in Power 3. How people like, Sugar, I want you to sell these cubes to the masses, and I want to see who turns the biggest profit.
We'll go into, for Simon can fly now, I know, we'll get on a plane and we'll take off to try and solve a problem. I wasn't a big fan of her death. I mean, yes, it kind of, I do think it is a kind of a good idea that someone who we know and we've seen before is killed. It does kind of try and give an idea, the Master's evil. Or this version of the Master's evil.
Yeah, I think...
The point of stepping on her glasses. I had to move my foot there.
Yeah. But like, that's what I was talking about previously with... We have to wait, because obviously that was like a show, a little bit.
I think it kind of felt more like a Moriarty thing, really. Kind of a Moriarty thing done wrong. In that kind of sense. So, we're going to die in a few seconds. Like. Really,
I think units should not take care of like national security or who becomes president. They should take care of their guards' hearing.
Yes, they already need hearing aids. It always tends to happen, isn't it? Like,
so you're gonna kill me then, Missy? What? Nobody's.
They're already just having a nap. And then
they're gonna kill me. Help! Missy's gonna kill me!
Like, so did you watch the game last week, Bob? I'm like, oh yeah, it alright. What do you make of this chick? I'm like, yeah, I don't think it's really the Master. She's not really doing anything maniacal. Like, help me!
Like, obviously Simon and the Doctor are worst enemies. Why aren't you killing him or trying to do something rather than just going, oh, hello?
I was kind of imagining when the whole bit of Clara in the graveyard, I imagine she'd bump into her and like, oh, sorry. No one else wanted to leave their emotions? Did everyone else? Or was that all the other people in the graveyard like, yeah.
There was another, like, obviously there were at least 2 people who didn't want to leave their emotions.
Yeah, at least 2. But I think when you consider the fact that the dead outnumber the living.
Yeah.
And then in the end, Danny's like, no, I can't do it. I mean, it's kind of good. It kind of makes a bit more sense, like, because they did the same sort of thing in The Age of Steel, like, why am I so cold? That was a nice scene. But hey, they kind of just drag it. You have to have another quarrel between Danny and the Doctor.
But then also you've got the hook between...
We'll get there. And they kind of drag the actual conversion. And then, of course, it doesn't work for no reason whatsoever. They don't explain it. They did the whole Sonic thing. And of course, the light turns on in the middle and kind of goes... He kind of just becomes proper cyber. Right? Somehow he decides to tell the Doctor whole plan. And then, did he just stop? Did he find a way to turn it off by himself? And then let's go on to CyberBrig.
When you said into Listen that when the whole like the barn scene and you just said no.
Like
I said
what I did with Missy.
Yeah. With my because obviously I watched it pretty much 1 hour after it aired. I said to my laptop when they had the CyberBrig, and you could tell it was the Brigadier because I didn't know who it was to start off with.
Yeah.
When you could tell, I said, "Don't you dare!" Like the problem is that you knew that it was coming. They were playing to it the entire episode.
The whole episode. They even have a literal
like shrine
to him. But whilst I can't say I was as angry as you or a couple of others, I was still very annoyed that they would do such a move to such an iconic character.
Yeah.
And then let's get the rest of the ending. I did like the whole Doctor scene reacting to Gallifrey not being there. The Master's tricked him one last time.
Yeah.
I kind of just like the idea that the Master lied.
Yeah.
I have heard some theories where he just parked the wrong way round. He was looking the wrong way. He was like, oh, damn it. But I did feel like, out of all the moves, that was probably the most smartest and most well done by Capaldi.
That shows that Capaldi, yet again, as I've mentioned several times in the past 12 weeks, Capaldi is by far the person who has carried this series.
Yes. Final opinion on Death in Heaven.
Bad, 4 out of 10.
Very bad. Not as bad as the last one, but still bad. 3 out of 10.
You can see which one is the more harsh one out of us two. There we go.
And that is the series in a nutshell. I hope you've enjoyed all our talks on Series 8. You're free now.
Yeah.
You don't have to listen to us rant or compliment the series. Not until Christmas.
Well, no.
Or unless you want to read.
Unless you want to read his blog, or you want to watch like the next couple of episodes we do, which is going to be in 2014. We've got 2 plans. We've got the one where what we would do for Series 9.
Yes.
And somebody's probably rumbling.
Yeah, I'm quite hungry.
After this. And then we've also got like just like something unrelated to Doctor Who, just sort of like the 18 and sort of like what that entails. Like how
I think instead we should just do about 2015, like what we've got ahead of us there.
Yeah, like just
not necessarily just Doctor Who. I mean, it's like anything.
Well, like just like life in general.
Yeah.
Like get to know us a bit more.
Yeah.
Apart from me, because obviously you've been watching
Yeah,
me for
you know
years.
too much. It's time to know about me. It's going to become the Willis and Ballaam show.
Charlie, the untold story. Anyway, guys, thank you so very much for watching. I've been Ballaam.
I've been Willis.
And this is the end credits. Do you want to say it?
Oh.
Signing out?
Signing out.